What is up, guys? It is Take a Look here, bringing you my thoughts on Extreme Rules 2016. I am with Long Dick Sham on the phone, although I don't think he's much in the mood for talking because he's pretty pissed off about the results of the pay-per-view. I don't know how long this will be, considering the fact that bloody hell, I always look like shit, but mainly because I do these reviews after the pay-per-views, and you still have to stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning. It is now 4:30 UK time, but I wanted to get this out for you as soon as I could, really. So it goes without saying that one of the first and foremost things that was wrong with Extreme Rules was simply the fact, I'm looking at Wikipedia now just to make sure it was the case. I didn't want to say something and then have it be totally out wrong and have loads of people on Twitter, oh, yeah, you're wrong, blah, 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 and all that. But this is the issue straight off the bat. The Ambrose Asylum match, good God almighty, was that a terrible match? It was, but that went for 26 minutes, just over 26 minutes, whilst the WWE title match went for 22 minutes. I am of the opinion that the title match should probably be the longest on the card, and fair enough if, for example, you're giving The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels 26 minutes and then the title match, 22 minutes. Fair enough. But, probably a contender for Match of the Year in 2016 only got 18 minutes. And, we'll get onto that, well, pretty much as soon as we can. So what I'll do is I'll go through the results, give my thoughts and opinion on the match itself, and then I will basically give my thoughts and opinion on where each superstar goes from here, what should have happened, or if I'm happy with what happened, just leave it at that. But without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. So Baron Corbin defeated Dolph Ziggler in 7 minutes in a no disqualification match on the pre-show. The only thing that was no disqualification about this was that Corbin punched Ziggler in the nuts to get the bloody, to set him up for the end of days. And I suppose it did what it was needed to do. Corbin regained some momentum. He's over his feud with Ziggler now. He won the rubber match, so to speak, and that was pretty much it. Next, we have the Club. Good God almighty. I mean, okay, if you can't, I've said it millions of times, if you can't rip off somebody's gimmick successfully, don't try it at all. Even the fucking Bullet Brigade is surely a fucking better name than the Club. Hell, I want Finn Balor to come up and be the leader of the Club just so they can now be known as Balor Club. It sounds so much better than the Club. Hey, girl, are you going to the club later? Fuck, that's ridiculous. But nonetheless, they defeated the Usos, and the weirdest and most horrible thing about this match is that I actually believed that the Usos would actually win this for a large majority of it. WWE's booking, and I'm not going to use the term buried because I don't like it when fans use the term buried when it's not. Buried is arguably Triple H versus Booker T at WrestleMania 19, or buried is arguably Rob Van Dam throughout 2002, 2003, when it could be argued that he should have won the world title. But anyway, enough of that. But the booking of Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson has been atrocious, man. They've been made to look a bit like bitches and just simple henchmen, when anyone that watched New Japan Pro Wrestling would know that they are far more than that. And WWE needs to do a better job of showing us that, basically. But they did get the W here, and it was pretty much straightforward. I can't even remember how they actually got the W. The match was that bad, and it wasn't a fault of theirs. It was the Usos, literally. It was just they are not anywhere near the main event picture. How they ever held the WWE tag team titles, I don't know. It's a fucking mystery to me. Anyway, so they went over. That is exactly what should have happened. But if I was them, I would have had the Club just destroy the Usos. Man, they had so much mystique around them when they first came into the WWE, and now you know, they just look like a normal tag team or henchman, as I've said before. So I don't really know where you go from there. So up next we have Rusev, accompanied by Lana, versus Kalisto for the United States Championship. This match was basically a domination by Rusev. You know, it could have been a bit more dominant, but it was a domination by Rusev, and that is probably how it should have gone, to be completely honest. Like, it went how it was meant to go. I mean, they did have Rusev win by tap out, and that was the correct thing to do. All I'm happy with is that this is over and done with. Kalisto is no longer the champion. I suppose that's, you know, that it's good, because no offense to him, he weren't doing anything with the title whatsoever, and you know, that was pretty much that. Hopefully Kalisto doesn't like get lost in the card, lost in the shuffle as like pre-show or whatever, but at least not yet. He doesn't belong with a title, but that's only my opinion. Okay, you know, it's just not yet. It's wait a little bit and we'll see. The New Day, Big E and Xavier Woods with Kofi Kingston versus the Villains, Aiden English and Simon Gotch. You know, this I had high hopes for this one, both as like the Villains coming out party, considering they got that cut short last pay-per-view due to the injury suffered by Enzo. You know, that wasn't too bad, but you know, hopefully he's all right. And you know, I don't know, like I'm trying to think to myself, like I don't know, man, it's crazy. It's a good thing and a bad thing that they're in this predicament, because they did lose the match, but now where do they go? I mean, they lost the match because the New Day kind of cheated with the numbers game like Eddie Guerrero used to do. That was incredibly fun to see. Kofi Kingston kicked one of them in the head, and while he was holding a bootio or something, and then Xavier Woods got the pin with the most shambolic kick I've ever seen. But nonetheless, it was good, and I suppose if they wanted to, the Villains have got the gripe for, you know, a rematch if they want it. The Fatal 4-Way for the Intercontinental title, The Miz with Maurice versus Cesaro, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. This was a brilliant match. There were loads of false finishes, like more false finishes than I've seen in a WWE match for a long time. There was moments where I believed that Sami Zayn could win it, that I believed Cesaro could win it, that I believed Kevin Owens could win it. Ironically, and this is one of the few times I'm going to say WWE played it to perfection, ironically, The Miz was one of the only people throughout the match that didn't get, in what I can remember, didn't get an extremely like close false finish. Yet, like the idiot he is, picks off the scraps, and great healing, as they say. With Maurice has reignited his career. That boy needs Maurice, otherwise he will just slip down the card again. But it was so silly. I think Kevin Owens hit a pop-up powerbomb, you know, on Cesaro. Cesaro was down. Sami Zayn came in and pulled him out of the ring, and then they just went off and fought, and then The Miz snuck in and got the victory. In argument's sake, this was actually the perfect way for The Miz to get the victory if they wanted to keep the title on The Miz. Thus far, up to this point, I've not had anything bad to say about the results or anything like that, right? Nothing really that bad. But this is, for me, where they fucked up. Not necessarily the result, but the way of the result. Like, they made Sami Zayn seem like he can't control himself or like he's stupid or something. Come on, kiddo. You got the fucking Intercontinental title on the line, and you know, you're rather concerned with beating up on Kevin Owens. Fuck him up on the outside by all means, but then go back and pin Cesaro. The man's been down from a pop-up powerbomb for about 2 minutes. You know, and actually that did a lot for the strength of the pop-up powerbomb, man. I'd love to see, like they did in NXT, I'd like to see Kevin Owens take out someone where he just keeps on pop-up powerbombing them and the referees called a match off. That was good in NXT, and I think it could work on the main roster with the right person. But the finish just made Sami Zayn seem stupid, if you ask me. It really did. It just made him seem stupid and dumb, to be perfectly honest. Like, dude, it's for the Intercontinental title. Get back in the ring, for fuck's sake. I kept on saying some of the TV, and I'm stupid for talking to the TV, but I kept on saying to the TV, keep your eye on The Miz. Jesus Christ, you know this guy's a slippery snake. He's going to fucking slither back in the ring and get the pin, isn't he? Regardless. The Miz, I suppose it's good for him because it keeps him relevant. You know, as long as he's got a title, he's relevant, I suppose. And I suppose Cesaro can go after him and try and battle for the women's title, battle for the Intercontinental title, while Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. How many matches have they had so far? One-on-ones. I think they've only had about one or two. So they could have a rubber match at SummerSlam or something like that if they fight Money in the Bank again. You could put these two together almost every pay-per-view the whole year and they wouldn't get boring. So again, you know, as long as Cesaro wins the title within the next 1 or 2 months, I'll be happy because he needs something just to keep this bit of momentum going right now. Do you know what I mean? Kevin Owens can beat up Sami Zayn or even in the Money in the Bank, and Kevin Owens can win the Money in the Bank, and, you know, he could try and cash in at SummerSlam or whatever, or, you know, even the following weeks on Raw or whatever, and Sami Zayn could stop him from cashing in, and eventually there'll be a match there, and eventually Kevin Owens will cash in successfully and all this shit. You know, it can work out good because Kevin Owens, if you're asking me, Kevin Owens is my pick to win the Money in the Bank this year, but I'm not going to jump ahead with myself. So we had Dean Ambrose versus Chris Jericho in an Asylum match. Good God. Now, I'm not normally one, excuse me, but I'm not normally one to bitch or to whine and complain about matches like, you know, being in the wrong era. Because for me, if you're a good wrestler, you can make any match interesting. But I'm with the crowd that say probably Hell in a Cell matches and all of that, they don't belong. You know, they don't belong. If you're going to be PG, then, you know, they don't belong because you can't execute them right. Hell in a Cell matches, cage matches, Ambrose Asylum matches. Like, good God. Like, if my mother, my girlfriend, or even my friends walked in during that match, they'd see fucking straitjackets, they'd see fucking fire extinguishers, and they'd see all this bollocks, right? And how am I meant to explain how the fuck a plant is hanging above the ring in a wrestling match? For us wrestling fans, it's hard enough to defend I will say the sport, because, you know, people do get injured and it is fucking hard. I'd like to see me, the fat bastard, Shamus, the fat bastard, or any of you, you know, even if you're not fat bastards like us, walk into a WWE ring and try and put on a 10-minute match. It ain't going to happen, mate. And that's with me being disabled or without any of you being disabled. So, you know, wrestling is a sport. But how the fuck am I meant to defend this match to anyone? For the first time in a long time, it made me embarrassed to be a wrestling fan. Fucking, we got a whole storyline over talk shows and a fucking potted plant. You know, it's all right back in the day when wrestling was simpler and you know, Rowdy Roddy Piper, God rest his soul, can smash a coconut over Jimmy Superfly Snuka's head. Yeah, because that's personal back then. But fucking talk shows, man. Come on, man. They're fucking ridiculous. And I don't mind Dean Ambrose winning. I mean, fucking hell, he was part of my bet. So, yeah, he did. Thank you, Ambrose. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. It's brilliant. But, fucking hell, the match was terrible. It is the first time I can remember myself saying it on Twitter and in my head, please, just end the match. I don't want any more. Ambrose did win after he threw Jericho on some thumbtacks and hit the Dirty Deeds. That was literally the only good spot of the match. And they wasted ages getting to that point. It was 26 minutes long. That was like what? The pay-per-view goes for 3 hours. That was 1/6 of the pay-per-view basically on one match. And it's just crazy. Somewhere in between all that, by the way, I forgot to mention, we did get Big Cass destroying the Dudley Boys, and I suppose it keeps him nice and relevant. How are you doing? But, you know, Ambrose is just not... No, for me, he's pseudo I want to be Stone Cold, but it's 2016, so I can't be Stone Cold thing. That doesn't wash with me. It's bullshit. And quite simply, Ambrose, WWE, if you're watching this, I don't like you. There's nothing special about you. In fact, I can't believe I ever thought there was anything special about the Shield. Because realistically, the only entertaining member of the Shield was/is Seth Rollins. And unfortunately, Seth Rollins is out injured at the moment. Or is he? Wait and see to the end of this review. I've just given it away. I'm too excited, but fuck it. We'll get on to that in a minute. Charlotte defeats Natalya via a submission. So Ric Flair was banned from ringside. This was all right. It went for about 10 minutes. It's good. Women's wrestling should get a fair amount of time on a pay-per-view, maybe a little bit more. Charlotte is looking like a dominant champion. Naturally, tonight with that pay-per-view appearance, Charlotte has become the first woman, I was going to say diva, but first women's wrestler ever, I believe is what they said, to have 13 pay-per-view appearances in a row. It amazes me to think that women like Trish Stratus and Lita never did that, but thank God we're in a slightly different time now where women being in their bra and panties is strictly confined to TNA. Not that that was ever a bad thing, but that's my opinion only. I'd prefer women's wrestling to bra and panties matches any day of the week, but Charlotte wins with the figure eight after Dana Brooke comes down in full Ric Flair outfit, and that was just atrocious. Go check out the WWE Network if you want to see that. So Charlotte slaps on the figure eight, and that was basically it. Okay, here's the thing. Briefly about Natalya and about Dean Ambrose, actually. Both man and woman seem to be in that same kind of spot where you're close but no cigar, and that is how, unfortunately, WWE views them. Obviously Dean's got closer to the WWE title than Natalya has to the Divas, but just like them both, there's better performers out there and better candidates to be champion. But with Charlotte, she is proving herself to be the most dominant diva I've seen in ages. Now, I don't know who's her next challenger. We'll probably find out on Raw tonight. Hell, Natalya might even get another rematch. WWE's booking. But there's rumours that Sasha Banks is injured. They're keeping her off TV for storyline purposes. I don't know. For me, I don't mind her with Ric Flair. I'm one of few people that don't. I don't mind her playing off the fact that she's Ric Flair's daughter. I really don't. Because, hell, if I was Ric Flair's son and I was in wrestling, I'd play off that. I'd even call myself Ric Flair fucking Jr. So just thank God she's not calling herself Charlotte Flair. They're just Charlotte. People that say, oh, she's the copyright infringement diva and don't fucking have her own gimmick. Her dad is fucking Ric Flair. Understand that, people. Her dad is fucking Ric Flair. Admittedly, she was a bit bland by herself. A little bit. When she was a face. Because she was just relying on her pure wrestling ability. And sometimes, unfortunately, that's not enough in this business because you need promo skills and all that bollocks, right? But here's the deal. You were complaining when she was on her own as a face. Now you're complaining when she's with Ric Flair as a heel. You can't make up your mind. The poor girl can't win. She is, her moonsaults and shit like that are crazy. Just calm down, enjoy the wrestling, and let's all reunite in our hatred of Roman Reigns. Pretty much before we even start dealing with Charlotte. I, for one, would have liked to see her slap Stephanie McMahon for putting her hands on Ric Flair, but, maybe that will turn her babyface, so that may be a bad idea. I don't fucking know. She needs a new challenger. Maybe Becky Lynch can actually go. And if Sasha Banks is not feeling healthy, then have Becky win the title. Fuck it, she deserves it. She looked stunning on the pre-show. But anyway, the last match of the evening, Roman Reigns, when it rains, it pours. And yes, it fucking does. It bored tremendously. AJ Styles kept this match alive. Oh my days. I can't even tell you how. AJ Styles done spot after spot, and Roman Reigns, he injured his knee somehow. But if you saw it, he rolled or something like that. But he hit the back of his knee, like where your fucking hamstring is. How can you injure your knee by hitting your hamstring? You fucking muppet. I don't know. Well, guys, you all know how this went. Bullet Club came out. Fucking Usos came out. And the only thing that annoys me, right, is that, and I'm going to say something now that was too long for Twitter, and I don't know how to use Twitlong or whatever the fuck it's called. Let me just line this out for you. The last event, AJ Styles hit every fucking finisher he did on Roman Reigns, right? Still wasn't enough. That's not, okay. If that was a standalone incident, maybe they're trying to look Roman Reigns like a fucking strong champion. Okay. Roman Reigns survived three F5s at WrestleMania 31. 3 F5s fucking ended the streak. Fuck off. And now today, AJ Styles hits everything he has again, including the fucking Styles clash on the chair and off the chair. Hits him with fucking steel chairs, like for all you old school wrestling fans out there, like Stone Cold did to The Rock at the main event of WrestleMania X7, and The Rock was fucked after that. Yes, The Rock did kick out once, but he was fucked. Roman Reigns finds enough energy to blah, 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 and still fucking spear. I mean, good God, the ending of the match was so predictable as well. Like I've got a few friends, and God bless them, they ain't the sharpest knife in the fucking drawer, but even they were like, oh, don't do a phenomenal forearm, you're going to go catapulting into a spear. You could see it a mile away. And my issue isn't even with the fact Roman won, because I was prepared for that. I knew that. I knew that Roman would win. Everyone did. But, there are some people whose common sense overpowered their hope, and maybe they hope too much that AJ Styles would win. He's a TNA guy. Vince isn't that progressive. It's like, I don't want to call Vince McMahon racist because he's not, but it's like a fucking old school white supremacist from the 1950s fucking inviting a black gentleman round to his yard. It's not going to happen because they're fucking prejudiced. That's how Vince is towards former TNA guys. Christian never won the WWE title, won the World Heavyweight title. Never did enough, basically. And my argument with this is just a pure burial. And this is where I will use the term buried. Yes, he put on a great match and he almost won, okay? But in terms of the believability of AJ Styles, to the casual fan that has never seen him in New Japan, and I will admit, I never saw that much of him in TNA because TNA plur, right? But to the pure wrestling fans that have seen him in New Japan and saw him lead Bullet Club and all of this fucking palaver, right? And all of this bullshit. Fair enough. We know what AJ brings to the dance. But let's look from a casual WWE fan's perspective. Someone that doesn't read too much dirt sheets. Someone, because there are still people out there, but even if they do read dirt sheets, just a pure WWE fan, doesn't watch anything else, didn't know of AJ Styles particularly much before he came to WWE. All they've seen is a guy that can't even beat Roman Reigns or can't even fucking pin Roman Reigns properly in a match where it matters without his friend's help. They see a man that's fucking done all his finishers and everything and can't fucking pin Roman Reigns. Before you say, oh, it's not that big a deal, bear with me. And if I say to you, I don't know who was the champion at the time, but okay, let's say when Stone Cold debuted or when Stone Cold won King of the Ring, around about 96, 97, all this kind of nonsense, right? If Stone Cold used a stunner on Bret Hart and Bret kicked out, and if Stone Cold fucking, I don't know what other finish he had back in the day, but $1 Million Dream, Lou Fest Press, all of this fucking shit, if he used that on Bret Hart, if you were a casual fan back then, if you didn't really know about, Stone Cold from anywhere else, which not a lot of people did, and if he didn't have the fucking... AJ Styles is blessed with charisma, don't get me wrong, but he is a phenomenal wrestler. He's decent on the mic, he is, but he is more of a phenomenal wrestler. If you saw Stone Cold stun Bret and etc., and Bret kick out every fucking time, then it loses its fucking value. Hell, Cena doing the springboard stunner fucking had the same problem. Dolph Ziggler using the super kick as a fucking signature, or not even a signature, as a sequence move, or like the Famouser and all this bollocks. Protect the fucking moves. Hell, WWE didn't seem that comfortable in letting AJ do the Styles clash that many times, because there was one unfortunate incident where a guy didn't tuck his chin properly and hurt his neck. You know, but fuck it. If you're not going to let him use the move that often, at least let him fucking win the match. I think AJ Styles won with the Styles clash once in all of his matches. Protect the fucking moves. Protect the fucking moves. If you want Roman Reigns to look strong, that's one thing. But don't make AJ Styles look like a fucking chump. Don't make him look like a dickhead that can't get the job done. How bad would it have been to give AJ the title and just have Roman win it again? Hell, Vince get a hard on over Roman being a 4-time WWE champion instead of a 3-time one. Fuck. My guy on my career was fucking 16, sorry, in WWE 2K16 has won the fucking title less than Roman Reigns, and that's a fucking computer game. The point is, this can't carry on, and that's what pissed me off about that match. Not that AJ lost, because I ain't a fucking try-hard fanboy who whinges about wrestling. Hell, I whinged when China, God rest her soul, fucking lost to Jeff Jarrett in 1999. Because I didn't understand that wrestling weren't fucking real. And, you know, I fucking badly want to see China win. But I ain't fucking like 9 years old, 7 years old anymore. You get me? But I am a true wrestling fan that does appreciate the hard work of AJ Styles. And how hard he's worked to get fucking a closed-mind dinosaur like Vince McMahon to notice him. And if it weren't for fucking Triple H, he probably wouldn't have come in the first place. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not seeing the bigger picture. I don't know. In my anger, maybe I'm not seeing the bigger picture. We all know Roman is the guy, literally, if that's a fucking shoot promo if there ever was one. But Jesus Christ, don't bury your fucking opponent's finishers, because all I've fucking seen, if I didn't see AJ Styles before, all I've fucking seen is AJ Styles fail at every attempt. He lost to Chris Jericho at WrestleMania, for fuck's sake. And now that's 3 pay-per-view losses in a row for AJ Styles, actually. I don't know. The only thing that could save this is a fucking Seth Rollins return. And thank God those rumors in my previews were fucking true. Rollins sneak attacks Reigns and fucking pedigrees him from out of nowhere to fucking wrap up Extreme Rules. And that is literally all what happened. I can't make it seem any more dramatic than that. I can only hope WWE are not stupid enough to fucking have Rollins job to Roman Reigns for the fucking future, man. I don't know if Seth a heel, is Seth a face. I'll tell you what, to the real life people, he's the fucking biggest babyface in WWE at the moment. But whatever, just don't fucking job him out, and please tell me that he can fucking get the job done against Roman. Hell, look, the man never lost the title. Give him the title back. If he was good enough fucking in November, he's good enough now. Because I'll tell you what, the landscape of WWE ain't got any better since November, son. It really fucking hasn't. I don't know if Roman was going to win it at that Survivor Series anyway. There were rumors floating around that he was. But I'll tell you this, and not for nothing, the storylines we got since Seth Rollins got injured, no. Just no, they're not fucking good enough. And something needs to change. And you know what? As Seth Rollins as WWE champion, I always thought Raw was kind of like a bit boring because it was 3 hours, and 3 hours is far too long. But at least I enjoyed seeing Rollins wrestle. And at least I enjoyed Seth Rollins fucking, do his chicken shit heel gimmick and have Kane and that back him up. Fuck me. At least the guy made it entertaining. I like to watch Raw because of wrestling and entertainment. With Seth Rollins, at least for an hour of the show, at least for a bit of the show, I was getting both through no fault of Seth Rollins. With Roman Reigns, I'm getting neither. The guy can't wrestle, and AJ Styles has been made to look like a chump. Anyway, guys, if you don't agree with my opinions, that's fine. The world and the people in it are made to agree or disagree. That's absolutely fine. Please drop a like on the video. If you have, feel free to dislike if you don't agree. We'll probably be doing a Raw review and even a preview depending on the news tomorrow. This has been Take a Look, staying up to watch Extreme Rules, where you could have watched it for $9.99, but it was not worth your money. The return of Seth Rollins alone was probably worth that, though, to be fair. So, I don't know. Anyway, guys, I'm out. Peace.